This is Chris from Athens in Norway. Not long after that game, which was a huge disappointment, wasn't it? We've had a lot of good days recently, and let's be clear about that, because we have. It's been great watching the team recently. Some great results, some great performances, and a hell of a lot to be proud of. Today was one of those days. It happens in football. It just wasn't to be our day, because, you know, the way it works in this game is that if so many people have an off day, so many players have an off day at the same time, then unfortunately you tend not to win games. And in our case today, there was just too many people who didn't have a good day. Now, you look at the way we started the game, for a start. The way we started the game was really poor. They came at us, the passing was poor. Sarr did what he normally does, he plays passes to people who are already marked. They should have capitalised on that. We could have been 2 down before we were eventually 1 down. What actually happened for that goal? It looks to me that the ball came in, Sarr called for it, which meant that Dawson left it. Now, Dawson always goes to challenge in those situations. He didn't today. I believe he got a call, it looked like to me, and Sarr didn't make it. Anything inside the 6-yard box, to be clear, is the goalkeeper's responsibility. Losing Kuna, let's hope it's not a serious injury, because he's a massive player for us. That changed the dynamic of the game, didn't it? Particularly, and Bellegarde, when he came on, he was, let's call it what it is, absolutely dreadful. He gave the ball away every time he got it, wayward shots. It doesn't look to be at the standard that we need to this level, unfortunately. I hope I'm wrong, but that was god awful today from him. And the second half, well, God, we were so unlucky, were we not, with that disallowed goal. It's so annoying, it's so close, it's millimetres, isn't it? But it looked at the fact of the rules, he was offside in that respect. And then Brentford's second goal, purely gifted to them by us. Both goals were gifted to them by us. As we know, in the first half, there could have been at least one more. Look, the intensity was better second half. We didn't deserve anything from the game today. As I said before, when so many players are below their normal standard, you're not going to win at this level. That's what happened. We take it on the chin, we move on, because the boys deserve our support. But that's a bad day. And yeah, we've had a lot of good weekends recently, but this one has been ruined, hasn't it? Yeah, that's it.
Hey Dave, well, that was a disappointment, wasn't it? After Chelsea, what a letdown. I honestly sort of had a bad feeling about it. Normally when you play a team 4 times in, 45 days, normally at least one of those results goes against you. So I sort of had a feeling today, but first half was pretty even. We weren't up to our usual standard. I think Brentford were maybe a little bit better and maybe just about deserved the lead at half time. Although it was sloppy marking from a corner, I thought. And hopefully now the commentators will shut up about how we never concede goals from corners, because I think we conceded 3 in 3 matches now. Anyway, 1-0 down at half time. Couldn't really complain about that. Good change at half time, bringing on Fraser for Totti. And we were all over them most of the second half. And we thought we got back into it. Nice goal from Dawson, great cross from Neto. But that first replay, I looked at it and went, uh-oh, we're in trouble here. And sure enough, the incredibly archaic offside rule, where Dawson's foot is 3 millimeters larger than the defender's, disallowed the goal. So, in 2024, with pixel by pixel analysis of images, we're still implementing a rule that was probably written in 1917. But hey, that's the rules of the game as they stand at the moment. So really unlucky there, I thought, because we were on top, deserved the goal, and I think that would have totally changed the match, but wasn't to be. And then I think we just lacked a little bit of quality and a little bit of luck. In the last 10 minutes, how many crosses went straight into the goalkeeper's gloves? That just wasn't good enough. And then, we shanked a couple of shots and we just weren't quite there. And in the end, they nicked a second late goal. On One Football, the app I use, Tony was voted man of the match. I'm not quite sure how he touched the ball like 3 times, but you kind of knew him or Mope were going to score today. It was just written in the stars. So anyway, disappointing result, but on we go. We're done with bloody Brentford for the rest of the season now. On the positive side, I can actually wash this shirt now. I was thinking of like removing it and throwing it in the laundry in the video, but honestly, nobody needs to see that, do they? So on to the next one, and I'll finish with a shot of my 2 FA Cup final winning sporting stars on the wall there. See you next time, Dave.
Hi everyone, it's Elsa from Palm here. Low blow after Chelsea. Really hard result to take, especially because this could have been a easily match to win. But we did our mistakes and Brentford took their chances. You can't blame them, we would have done the same. As always, very slow and sloppy first half and dominant second half. This is why at the end of the game, at the end of the match, I don't think we deserved to win and I don't think we deserved to lose. I think a draw would have been fair for both teams. We were not our best today, definitely. We lost Cunha after 20 minutes and O'Neill is doing a massive job, but today putting on Bellegarde for Cunha was a massive downgrade because I personally didn't see him on the pitch. He was there, but he wasn't there. The best one for me today was Ryan. He did some very great stuff, and Pedro as well. While, as I said, I didn't particularly enjoy both Bellegarde and Sa. But what we can do? Nothing. You really can't cry over spilled milk, can you? What we can do now is to learn this lesson, because we basically saw these 3 points passing by and we said hi. We need to be extremely prepared for the next one. It will be an away one, a London one against Spurs. This one won't be easy, definitely. It's swim or sink. I really hope to see Cunha and Hwang on the pitch again, but it's really swim or sink. So I will see you all for the match against Spurs, and I will be swimming. I definitely will be swimming, lads. See you next week.
Hi there, Chris here in Athens, Greece. So it was Wolves 0, Brentford 2. I think a fair result. I think the first half performance, Brentford were much better than Wolves. I thought they controlled the ball, played much better than we did, and could have had 2 or 3. As it happened, we went into half-time 1-0. And I think we were all hoping as Wolves fans that Gary could have one of his usual chats and we could come back and be looking at a draw or possibly even a win even at that point. But in all fairness, with Cunha going off after 20 minutes, Hwang still not back, we were short of attacking options. I think Neto did his best to try and create stuff. We did come close a couple of times, but all in all, wasn't good enough. Lemina and Gomez I thought did quite well in midfield, but the more you push forward to try and get a goal to create the draw, the more you leave yourself open and exposed, and I think that was a pretty classic counter-attacking goal that they scored. I thought Jose Sa did well in goal, saved us a couple of times. In that first half, that's probably one of the reasons why we didn't go 3-0 down. But I was happy to see Nathan Fraser come on. I was hoping that he could come on and get a goal. So I'd like to see him get a bit more time. But all in all, I think it was a pretty poor performance from Wolves. We all hoped that this was going to be 3 points in the bag, and Premier League, that just wasn't the case today. I think maybe next week we're going to go away to Spurs and win, because that's just this Wolves side, isn't it? Lose to Sheffield, beat Man City, hopefully lose to Brentford, beat the Spurs. Still believing in Gary O'Neill, we'll be alright, always Wolves.
Hey Dave, Noah here from Chicago, Illinois. So it ends Wolves 0, Brentford 2 at Molineux. Frustrating result at home. Haven't felt this feeling in a while doing the international fan reactions, but, you know, didn't do one for Man United, which would have been, I think the Man United one is more so a tough loss than a frustrating one. This was frustrating for sure, given the fact that we scored a goal. But kind of getting into it, Cunha goes off injured in about the 20th minute, I believe. Says on Twitter that it was a hamstring issue, I believe, and that he hopes to be okay, but O'Neill's waiting for the diagnosis. And then Hwang Hee-chan was rumored to be potentially in the squad, but was out with a calf issue on Twitter, I saw. So the first goal we conceded, poor. Saw tries to come claim it, but he misjudges it, I believe. And then Dawson thinks that Saw is coming to claim it, and it's just an easy header in for Norgard. And then the second goal that we conceded was particularly poor as well, I thought, playing out of the back. Yes, we have to get forward, but playing out of the back should be fairly simple. It's completely separate from getting forward. It's one thing if you go forward and get caught out on the counter. It's another thing if you're simply playing out of the back and then give away a goal cheaply like that, I think. So, and then touching on the disallowed goal, yes, it was the correct call, but I feel honestly like if you score with the part that was not offsides, then you're not offsides. That's just my personal opinion. That's how I think the game should be played. Because if he scored with his left foot, that's an infraction. But since he scored with his head and his left foot was offside, I don't see a problem with it, personally at least. But that, I don't make the rules of the game, obviously. So, man of the match, I definitely say Nuri. He was incredible. Some brilliant touches, brilliant dribbling, and 67 out of 68 accurate passes, which is just insane. The guy is just an absolute baller. Overall match rating, I'd give it a 6.5. It was pretty rough, especially the first half. Second half, I'd probably give it like a 7.5 to 8, but it was just too little too late. And then once they scored the goal, Brentford, the second one, it was over from there. So anyways, on to Spurs next weekend, and yeah, always Wolves.